Well, our friendly neighborhood Canadian, Caption in Words, aka Jay, tagged me in a bad, what is this thing called? No disclaimers book tag. You can tell I practiced and warmed up for this. I do have a cough drop in because my cough from hell refuses to give up. So, let's talk about these questions. Which trope in books annoys you the most? So, probably several of them. The biggest one that I always go to immediately, and this goes for TV and movies as well, is whenever the main character or one of the main characters is clearly in over their head, about to die, they're in the heat of battle, they take a shot or they get hit over the head, and they fade to black. When they should die, but nope, they just passed out. Now they're gonna wake up and be fine. That one really, really bothers me. It feels cheap. I understand it can be used well, but most of the time I just feel like it's kind of garbage when your main guys are in the heat of battle, everything is going bad, they're about to die. The Greatcoats does this a lot, actually, and somebody gets knocked over the head, passed out, and then they wake up and they had won, everything's fine. That, and I understand you have to tell a story, but when the villain decides to capture somebody and imprison them rather than just kill them, because it happens over and over again, and it kind of lowers the stakes to a point where every time that the villain's like about to win, and then they throw a sack over them and put them in a cell, it's like, okay, they're gonna get out. Like, just kill them. It's just, come on. All right, which writer or writers do you feel is overhyped or overrated? So I don't want to say anybody's necessarily overrated. For me, I've read the entirety of the Cosmere, but I do think Brandon Sanderson is a little bit overhyped. Basically because almost all of his books are hyped to no end. People act like he cannot do any wrong, which all credit to the guy. He writes like an actual writing robot, as Jay mentioned as well. He his pace is insane. He's constantly coming up with new books, new ideas, and that's admirable. They don't all work for me. I've liked probably 60% or so of the books that I've read of his. I didn't click with Elantris. I didn't really like Era 2 Mistborn. I didn't like Edge Dancer. Dawnshard was pretty good, but it was just a short novella. It was fine. I really loved Era 1. I love most of Stormlight, so it's a little bit up and down for me. I haven't touched his other, like Skyward and stuff like that, Steelheart. I haven't read those, so I can't speak on behalf of those. But I feel like he's one of those authors where every single book that he writes, there's somebody out there giving it the best score possible and saying it's perfect, and there's nothing wrong with it. A little bit too much for me. What are your least favorite books you've read since joining BookTube? Well, I just named a couple of them. Some of the other ones would be Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. Didn't really like that one at all. Definitely Era 2 Mistborn was just kind of mediocre. There have been quite a few Wheel of Time books recently in the slog that are just yikes. I really didn't care for Saint's Blood, book 3 of the Greatcoat series. That almost completely derailed the series for me, and I did not like a lot of choices in that book. Also, one book that everybody praises that is just awful, Fellowship of the Ring. That was a joke. What is a terrible ending that ruined an otherwise quality book? Nothing that I've really read was ruined by the ending. Most of what I've read, I disliked long before the ending. So, I don't know. Right, which fictional characters do you wish was not killed off? So, I'm not just going to throw out any spoilers, but for my favorite series, Red Rising, there is a certain big guy that doesn't make it. And I really wish that he had stuck around because I really liked his character. What are some of my bookish pet peeves? I'll show you. Some of this shit is unacceptable. Okay, so here we go. Some of you monsters out there that write in your books and highlight them and shit, like, don't do that. That bothers me. Whatever the fuck Brian Lee Durfee was doing in his recent video, pouring spaghetti and ice cream sandwiches in his books, don't do that. Stuff like this. Fake stickers, permanent stickers that never move from your book. A million quotes all over the book as well. Let's keep going. Oh, The Witcher, The Last Wish. Yeah, this looks really good, doesn't it? The book that inspired the Netflix series. Don't do that. Oh, Netflix original series. Stop it. This one's a doozy. I don't know why they do this shit. I see this a lot now. Rune of Kings, Jen Lyons. Oh, that's a very lovely trimmed cover page you have there, just to show a New York Times book review quote. It's an entire quote page, but they trimmed the cover just to show this stupid quote. All it says is sheer effervescent joy. You needed to trim the cover for that? Come on now. What are some books you feel should get more recognition? Speaking of Red Rising, Go read Red Rising. If you like sci-fi, if you like fantasy, it's a fantastic blend of the two. It goes from a single point of view, yep. It goes from a single POV in the first trilogy to an expansion of a multi-POV story in the second trilogy. Still waiting on book 6, but that series is fantastic. I don't see it talked about enough. There's a few of us here on BookTube that just scream from the rooftops about this series, but it is seriously awesome. Also, John Gwynne, his Faithful in the Fallen series. It's getting a lot more recognition now because of Shadow of the Gods, I feel. And so many of us, again, you know, myself, Patrick, Alan, Philip, Sarah, Jimmy, everybody's just yelling about these books. Read John Gwynne. He kicks ass. Awesome characters, awesome pacing, incredible action. Read those books. And finally, what are your thoughts on censorship and banning books? It's dumb. Books are meant to be read. What are you going to gain by banning books? Honestly, like, whenever there's like a ban list in schools or whatever it may be, it's just going to drive people to read them more. What are you really stopping by banning them? It's just dumb. Half the books that have been banned, like, in the past are outstanding books that a lot of people love, and trying to hide like that content from kids, even in schools or wherever else they ban books, I guess it's a silly thing to me. Just don't ban books. Let people read. All right, time to tag some folks. So first up, Andrew's Wizardly Reads, tagged. Let's see. Drew's Book Reviews, tagged. Sandra Gibbons, tagged. And Chase's Book Thoughts, tagged. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. So that's the video. That's the tag. Thank you, Jay. I'm saluting you, apparently. That's going to do it for the video, guys. So like, subscribe as always. Do hit up Patreon if you want to support the channel financially, and what I do here. That's always optional, but always appreciated. Definitely jump to Discord, though. Let me know your thoughts on whatever the hell you want to talk about. We talk about all sorts of crazy shit in Discord. Drop in the comments down below. Let me know some of your answers to some of these questions, and we'll see you next time. Keep reading.